the air, President Trump answering our reporters' questions on Robert Mueller, asking, did Mueller act honorably? Just hours after the American people learned Mueller found no collusion, no conspiracy with the Russians, but stopping short of exonerating the president on obstruction of justice. What we've learned tonight. Also breaking tonight, Stormy Daniels' former lawyer, Michael Avenatti, under arrest, facing multiple charges. Prosecutors say he tried to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Major new questions tonight. How did a new cruise ship get in so much trouble? More than 600 Americans on board losing power in violent seas. Americans tonight describing the helicopter rescues right here. A 71-year-old woman and her husband among them. The college admissions cheating scandal tonight. A dozen suspects, including coaches, accused of taking bribes, all in court today. As Lori Loughlin's former co-stars on Full House now speak out tonight. The difficult headline, 2 apparent suicides now in Parkland. A young woman, she just graduated. She suffered from survivor's guilt, her family says, and now a second student. And tonight, a father from Sandy Hook. Authorities believe he took his life, too. And the manhunt at this hour for the gunman who showed up and opened fire in a neighborhood, shooting into homes, apartments, and then came back the next day, authorities say, doing it again.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin tonight with that dark cloud now lifted for President Trump and the White House. The Mueller report finding no collusion with Russia. After nearly 2 years, Robert Mueller finding no conspiracy between the president or his campaign with Russia. But the special counsel stopped short of exonerating the president on obstruction of justice, finding, quote, evidence on both sides of the question. The president's pick for Attorney General William Barr did take it a step further in his summary of the Mueller report, saying Mueller did not find sufficient evidence to establish obstruction as a crime. And tonight, ABC News has learned Robert Mueller told the Attorney General 3 weeks ago he would not reach a conclusion on obstruction. But does this now set up a battle? Because in the end, it was the president's recent pick for Attorney General who cleared him. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl asking the president tonight, did Robert Mueller act honorably?
Today, from a president feeling vindicated, an entirely different tone toward the special counsel, a man he's long accused of leading a witch hunt.
Mr. President, do you think Robert Mueller... Yes.
Mueller's 22-month investigation concluded definitively Russia interfered in the 2016 election, but he found no collusion between the Russians and Team Trump. Attorney General William Barr, in his 4-page letter to Congress, quotes the special counsel's own words. The investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities.
Mr. President, so did this turn out to not be a witch hunt after all? You think Robert Mueller did a...
It's lasted a long time. We're glad it's over. It's 100% the way it should have been. I wish it could have gone a lot sooner, a lot quicker. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. We can never let this happen to another president again. I can tell you that, and I say it very strongly. Very few people I know could have handled it. We can never, ever let this happen to another president again.
A senior Justice Department official tells ABC News Mueller informed Barr 3 weeks ago he was not able to reach a conclusion on whether the president obstructed justice. In his letter to Congress, Barr again quotes Mueller's words. While this report does not conclude the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. But Barr goes on to say that both he and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein determined the evidence is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense. Today, the president was asked if the entire Mueller report should be made public.
Up to the Attorney General. Wouldn't bother me at all.
And John Karl with us at the White House tonight. And John, we heard the president there say it wouldn't bother him if the Mueller report is released to the American people. The president's lawyer was also asked, does that include the president's written answers to the special counsel?
And the official answer is that's up to the Attorney General as well. But I can tell you this, David, the White House could, of course, at any time release those answers to the American people. I can tell you also, I do not expect that to happen. David?
John Carl leading us off tonight. John, thank you. I want to get right to our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, back with us again tonight. And Dan, a lot of questions tonight about the special counsel, Robert Mueller. 22 months, no leaks from his office. He came up with a conclusion when it came to conspiracy, no collusion with the Russians. But after 22 months, he could not come up with an answer on obstruction of justice. Why not?
Well, he clearly thought that that was a more difficult question there. But he did lay out all of the reasons why he thought you could indict and all the reasons he thought against indictment, and that's going to be critical information.
But doesn't this set up a political battle almost immediately because you have an attorney general just nominated in December by President Trump, and given what William Barr has said about obstruction of justice before?
And there are questions about whether the attorney general should have weighed in at all at this point. But in particular, because Barr, just last year, before he was attorney general, specifically described the obstruction of justice investigation as fatally misconceived, which is going to make Democrats want to see all of Mueller's reasons for indictment even more.
And Dan, as you know, that battle is already on tonight. Our thanks to you. The Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill tonight want the Mueller report made public, but the Democrats in particular this evening want to see that same evidence that led the Attorney General to clear the president on obstruction. ABC's Mary Bruce on the Hill.
President Trump says he's vindicated, but tonight on Capitol Hill, the political battle over the Mueller report is just getting started.
There are a lot of open questions.
Democrats are pointing fingers at Attorney General Bill Barr.
The president has not been exonerated by the special counsel, yet the Attorney General has decided not to go further or apparently to share those findings with the public. We cannot simply rely on what may be a hasty, partisan interpretation of the facts.
They say Barr is not a neutral observer, citing that memo he wrote less than a year ago calling the obstruction investigation fatally misconceived. And they're demanding to see Mueller's full report. But Republicans say it's time for Democrats to move on.
And now it's time for them to get over it, but they won't get over it.
Mary Bruce with us live on the Hill again tonight. Mary, Democrats and Republicans are both calling on William Barr to testify on Capitol Hill. They want the new Attorney General up there in front of the American people.
And David, both the House and Senate Judiciary Committees have already reached out to Barr asking him to testify here sometime soon. Now, Barr was already scheduled to be here on the Hill early next month for a hearing on the budget. And if we don't hear from him before then, well, that hearing is almost certain to become a showdown on the Mueller report. David.
All right, Mary Bruce, Dan Abrams, John Carl, our thanks to all of you tonight. In the meantime, to the other breaking headline this Monday night, there is news about a longtime antagonist of the president, Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' former lawyer, facing multiple charges tonight, including allegations that Avenatti tried to extort more than $20 million from Nike. And prosecutors are backing up their claims tonight with wiretaps. ABC's Paula Ferris on what we know so far.
Tonight, Michael Avenatti facing sweeping charges on both coasts. In New York, federal prosecutors accusing the lawyer of trying to extort up to $25 million from apparel giant Nike.
A suit and tie doesn't mask the fact that at its core, this was an old-fashioned shakedown.
Prosecutors saying Avenatti claimed to have a client, a coach, who had damaging information about Nike payments to high school basketball players and their families, and he threatened to go public. In one wiretap, Avenatti allegedly warned Nike's lawyers, "I'll go take $10 billion off your company's value. I'm not expletive around." ABC News has learned that an unnamed co-conspirator who was not arrested is celebrity attorney Mark Garagos. And today, Avenatti was arrested just 15 minutes after this tweet threatening to disclose a basketball scandal perpetrated by Nike. Tonight, Nike says it's cooperating with the government's investigation into NCAA basketball. And 3,000 miles away in Los Angeles, prosecutors there unveiling a separate case against Avenatti.
The federal criminal complaint charges Mr. Avenatti with wire fraud and bank fraud and contains a series of allegations that paint an ugly picture of lawless conduct and greed.
Prosecutors alleging he stole $1.6 million from a client's legal settlement. Stormy Daniels, who had already cut ties with her former lawyer today, saying, "Knowing what I know now about Michael Avenatti, I am saddened but not shocked by news reports that he has been criminally charged."
And David, the California bank and wire fraud charges carry a max of 50 years here in New York. The extortion charges, we're looking at another 47 years. If Avenatti is convicted, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. David?
Paula Ferris on this unfolding case tonight. Paula, thank you. Next tonight, we are hearing from many of the Americans who were on that doomed cruise ship and their nightmare off the coast of Norway. More than 600 Americans were on board when that ship was rocked by massive waves, tossing people, nearly running aground. Helicopters lifting hundreds to safety, the winds gusting to 40 miles an hour during all of this. Among those rescued, a 71-year-old American and her husband, and they're speaking out tonight. And ABC's Eva Pilgrim on the major question this evening: how could this happen to a new cruise ship?
Tonight, after a terrifying ordeal for passengers on board this cruise ship, an investigation is underway into why it's at sail at all, despite warnings of dangerous weather. Nearly 1,400 passengers aboard the Viking Sky left Norway for a 12-day Northern Lights cruise when the ship's engine failed in rough seas. Passengers recording, furniture flying, parts of the ceiling collapsing.
Water came bursting through that door, and I have water all over the ground.
Rescuers rappelling from choppers, airlifting hundreds one by one. Among them, Susan and Alan Dolberg from Nevada, California.
I'm 71, he's 74. They took us up together, and we got hooked in and whoop, lifted up. That was quite a jolt.
Tugboats finally helping the ship with 900 still on board back to port. 9 passengers hospitalized, 1 in critical condition.
David, the chairman of Viking Ocean Cruises personally apologizing tonight. The ship's next cruise has been canceled. David?
All right, Eva, our thanks to you again tonight. And next from Boston this evening, the first major wave of defendants in court in that sweeping college admissions cheating scandal. Coaches, test administrators, and others who worked with that confessed mastermind, all pleading not guilty. And tonight, actress Lori Loughlin's former co-stars on Full House are now speaking out after she was accused. ABC's Lindsay Davis is at the courthouse in Boston for us.
Despite being dogged by questions, so any comment at all? Are you guilty? Each of the 12 defendants entering this Boston court today,
Sir, is anything to say?
silent and stone-faced, charged with racketeering conspiracy in that massive college cheating scandal. All 12 pleading not guilty. Wake Forest volleyball coach Bill Ferguson, one of 6 coaches accused today of taking bribes, proclaiming his innocence through an attorney.
No one was admitted to Wake Forest who didn't earn it, as a student and as an athlete. Bill Ferguson does not belong in this indictment.
Among those charged, alleged associates of Rick Singer, the alleged mastermind of the college admissions scheme, who allegedly took $25 million from wealthy parents to bribe test proctors and coaches using fake athletic profiles and photos. Over the weekend at the Kids' Choice Awards, the cast of Fuller House seemingly with this message of support for their former cast member Lori Loughlin, who's also charged in the admissions scandal.
And a loving family sticks together no matter what, and they stand by their side no matter how tough it gets.
Lindsay Davis with us live tonight from Boston. And Lindsay, I know Yale this evening is the latest school to take action in the wake of this scandal.
That's right, David. Yale tells us they have now rescinded the admission of one student as a result of this matter. Also want to let you know actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, they're expected in court here next week. David.
Lindsay, thank you. Tomorrow, a federal ban kicks in on bump stocks in this country. Bump stocks are those devices that allow a semi-automatic weapon to fire continuously with one pull of the trigger. Owners must now destroy or turn them over to authorities. You'll remember 12 rifles with those bump stocks were found in that Las Vegas hotel room where a gunman fired on concert-goers, killing 58 people. And from Parkland, Florida tonight, news of an emergency meeting about the lingering effects of the massacre at their high school. We reported here about the young graduate who took her own life. Her family says she had survivor's guilt. Tonight, news of a second student, now an apparent suicide as well. And from Connecticut tonight, the father of a 6-year-old who was killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School has apparently taken his life, too. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Tonight, the grief-stricken father of a child killed in the Sandy Hook massacre apparently taking his own life. Flowers at the front door of the Newtown, Connecticut Town Hall, where 49-year-old Jeremy Richmond had an office. His body found there Monday morning. Just last week, Richmond was in Florida, speaking at an anti-violence summit not far from Parkland, where 2 survivors of the shooting there apparently committed suicide within days of each other. Police say one student was found dead Saturday, less than a week after 19-year-old former student Sydney Aiello killed herself. Aiello's mother says her daughter struggled with survivor's guilt and PTSD.
Listen to your teachers and listen to your parents.
Counselors and community leaders led an emergency meeting Sunday. The mayor saying while there is concern, the two suicides could lead to more.